So what we do is actually, we have some prayers, right? We have some prayers, guru prayers, like, it is so important for us to do our prayers to Guru also, to get the blessings of the Guru, because as Krishna says, we need to have a Guru in our life, right? A spiritual master. So we should offer our obeisances to our spiritual master, and which is what we try to. I'll try to record my sessions and request. Okay. So I will just share this one. So you can see this. Can you see the screen?
Yes.
Yeah. So as you can see over here, this is our Prabhupada, our spiritual master, and on the left-hand side is his spiritual master, his guru, Saraswati Thakur. In fact, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. In fact, our spiritual master, they went to US to start the Hare Krishna movement, on the instruction of his spiritual master called Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And he was called as a Lion Guru and very popular. And then our whole philosophy and Gaudiya Vaishnava Parampara is based on 6 Goswamis from Vrindavan, and he's one of the very well-known Goswami called Rupa Goswami. So all these are like different prayers that are offered to our spiritual master. And then now we have this, our invocation for prayers to Prabhupada, and then again to his guru as well over here. So it is a very nice way, actually, when we pray to our gurus, they give us the blessings in which we can proceed in our Krishna Bhakti. So it's very, very important for us, actually, to get the blessings of, the gurus of the Parampara. Bhakti here, this is another. So Prabhupada's guru is Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, and then his guru is Bhakti Vinoda Pranati. So you can see that Bhakti Vinod Thakur, and he's written so many beautiful bhajans also, So like that, we have the Guru Parampara. So that is why it is so important, like in today's world where we don't know, we have so many gurus out there, everybody talking about different philosophies, but it's very important for us to follow the right Parampara, Guru Parampara. And that's the reason why we follow the Gaudiya Vaishnava Parampara, and follow the instructions, and we offer our invocation to our spiritual master before we start off. Hare Krishna, Ashwin Prabhu, Isha Ji, Hare Krishna, and I don't know who's on the Samsung S23. Hare Krishna, Anil Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yeah, thank you for joining. Okay, so Amoga Prabhu, are you there?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes.
Yeah. Prabhuji, I was just thinking if we can just, shall we do the invocation for our gurus, and then maybe you can do that, and then we can just dive into, then I'll do the Jai Radha Madhav song after that.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Sure, Prabhuji. Would you want to just go with the...
I can go inside.
Yeah.
Shall I start, Prabhuji?
Yes, Prabhuji, please.
Let me bring my laptop as well.
अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांशं श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांशान्। हे कृष्ण करुण सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकाकांत राधाकांत ते सप्त कांचन गौरंगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो ओं विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रस्थाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन् इति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण हरे हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण।
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. That's wonderful. We are starting off with invocation prayers for our gurus, and also so this is a beautiful, very nice website which has all like in all these mantras and so many, including the songs and bhajans and everything is there. And there's a lot of resources, in fact, over here. So we can, at any point of time, if you want, you can just Google and check out ISKCON Desire Tree. So I will start off with the Jai Radha Madhava Bhajan, and then we will dive into the Krishna book. Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girvaradari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girvaradari यशोदनन्दन ब्रज जन रञ्जन यशोदनन्दन ब्रज जन रञ्जन यमुनतीरावनचारि यमुनतीरावनचारि जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी जय गोपीजन वल्लभ जय गिरिवरधारी यशोदनन्दन ब्रज जन रञ्जन यमुनतीरावनचारि जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 रामा राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, everyone. Hemulata ji, Hare Krishna. Darshana ji, Hare Krishna.
Very beautiful Kirtan Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Amoga Prabhu. You're supportive. Nish ji, Hare Krishna. Is that Nish? It's mentioned. Ashwin ji as well here joined as well. So yeah, warm welcome to all of you. Again, the whole this whole the idea behind this satsang is for all our devotees, and it is something we are doing with so much of passion and so much of love. We are doing this satsang because like we have been, all of us, we've been through this road, and we've seen that this definitely works. I can just tell you, for example, even Hemalata Mataji, who has joined us today, Anil Prabhu has joined us, and all of us, just sticking to the satsang and coming regularly. And now we can find, all of them they're practicing bhakti life. So the only recipe for bhakti life is that we have to stick to it. Stick to the satsang. Just keep coming whenever it is possible, whenever you can make it, just make that little time. In fact, I was so, there was a big party going on in the company today, end of the month, and everybody was just having a beautiful, just enjoying and just having a lot of fun time and all that. But I made it a point, I just put in my deadline, 6 o'clock. I'm just going to be there just for a formality's sake, just show my face. And 6 o'clock, immediately I walked on and I said, I have to leave now. So, it's when you have a taste for bhakti life, and we know that we have some commitment on a spiritual journey, because this material life is always going to be like this, right? It's always going to be about sense enjoyments and material opulences and things like that. But Krishna always gives us the free will. He says always at the end of speaking the whole of Bhagavad Gita, he says, Arjuna, you decide. I'm giving you the whole of Bhagavad Gita. Now you decide what is it that you want to do. Contemplate about it, and then you take the right decision. So Krishna is always giving us the free will. But when we take that free will to use that free will towards bhakti life, then Krishna becomes very, very happy, because he knows that I could have used this time for something else, but you have used this time for Krishna bhakti and for sharing about satsang with everyone. And we are trying to do this because, we have so many devotees coming to the temple, and we all want to just take our bhakti life to the next level. But how will you do that unless we take this effort that we form part of the satsang, and slowly know, step by step, we try to know every week, every month, how much we can keep on learning about Krishna. And then when we get a taste of Krishna bhakti, then we will find like, oh my God, this is so beautiful, and this is so much of nectar that we don't want to miss out on it, So I really appreciate that everyone is just taking this step to spend some time on Thursday for the Krishna bhakti. So for the benefit of devotees who just joined also, so KrishnaBook is directly taken from Vyasadev's Srimad Bhagavatam 10th canto. So many, usually for the Bhagavatam, we go step by step, canto by canto. But here, because we have the Krishna book, we are directly diving into the Srimad Bhagavatam 10th canto. It is taken from 10th canto. And this is the literary incarnation of Krishna Bhagavan, right? And this whole Bhagavatam has 18,000 verses, 18,000. And our spiritual master Prabhupada has translated word to word of entire 18,000. So you can imagine he would sleep only 2 hours a day because he was spending so much of time in writing and translating the book. And it's up to us to take this opportunity to write. And this book, Krishna book, was first sponsored by George Harrison from the Beatles. So he was the one who gave, I think, about I don't know, some $16,000 or something in those days. I don't know, Amoga Prabhu, is that right? I don't know. But it was somewhere around some thousand.
$19.
What's that?
$19,000.
$19,000. You're right. He's given in those days. We're talking about 70s. In 1970s, he's given about $19,000 to sponsor for the publishing this Krishna book, especially Krishna book. So we are so fortunate that we have this beautiful Krishna book with all Leelas, right? We covered from the advent of Krishna, and we went to how the stealing of butter, stealing of the boys in calves by Brahma, and so many different Leelas, worshipping Govardhan Hill. And so finally, we have come actually now to this chapter of 46th chapter. We come to this thing. So in the earlier chapter, we covered like killing of Kamsa. So Kamsa was making all the evil plans to bring Krishna and Balaram to Mathura. Because they were all staying in Vrindavan, right? So Krishna and Balaram. So they wanted to get Krishna and Balaram from Vrindavan, arrange the whole thing trap to kill Krishna and Balaram. So they were just, once Krishna and Balaram came, they have arranged for an elephant, Kuvalyapida, to go and kill Krishna. And after that, they arranged wrestlers and all that. So finally, Krishna so effortlessly, because, for them, it is nothing just to fight against an elephant or anything like that. Even though even the wrestlers were like so heavily built, Krishna so easily kills all of them. And then the killing of Kamsa. So finally, Krishna goes and kills Kamsa also. And then after that, Krishna goes to Gurukul, where he's serving his teacher, Sandipani Muni. I think many of you would be knowing Krishna's guru name is Sandipani Muni. And Krishna, after learning everything, the art of military science and so many different skills he learns from his teacher, and his teacher finally, he asks his teacher, what Guru Dakshina I can give you? And his teacher will ask him, my son has died in the ocean. Can you bring back my son, dead son? So Krishna goes to Yamaraj and he orders him to give back the son alive of his teacher. So Yamaraj will give back the son of his Sandipani Muni, and then Krishna takes his son, takes the son of his teacher and goes and gives him back to his teacher. So this is the power of Krishna. So when we have Krishna on our side, can you imagine what kind of a miraculous life that you have when we have the blessings of Krishna, the supreme personality of Godhead? So now we have come to this chapter where it's called as Uddhava visits Vrindavan. So now just to set the context, now Krishna, Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda Mataji, they have come to Mathura, and now Krishna has stayed back in Mathura because he's got to be there to make sure that none of these enemies are attacking Mathura, because Ugrasena is the father of Kamsa. He is ruling Mathura now, and Krishna and Balaram, they want to stay in Mathura to support the king, so that if there's any enemies who attack also, that they can be, protecting them. And also, so Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda, all of us know it, right? About the Leelas of Yashoda Mataji, how much she was churning butter for Krishna, how she's running back of Krishna with the stake and all. They're beautiful, divine Leelas of Yashoda Mata, right? Many of us would have heard right from childhood. Now, what happened is Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda Mataji, they went back to Vrindavan, where they were staying actually. And now, so that is just to set the context around that. So now what happens is this chapter is called as Uddhava visits Vrindavan. Now we're going to talk about who's Uddhava, and then, why he's visiting Vrindavan and things like that. So as I mentioned, Vasudeva and Devaki, they're actually the actual parents of Krishna, as you all know. And so they're actually taking care of Krishna, and they're trying to do this, initiation ceremony, sacred thread ceremony and things like that. Now, Nanda Maharaj, Yashoda Mataji, and then all the cowherd boys, and all of them, they went back to Vrindavan, right? They came to Mathura on the invitation of Kamsa. And once all the festivities or everything was okay, and then Krishna goes and kills Kamsa. And once all that is done, then all of these cowherd boys as well as Nanda Maharaj, they're all going back to Vrindavan. So this is where we stopped at. And then so what happened is, the people of Vrindavan, they love Krishna so much that Nanda Maharaj, his father Nanda Maharaj, and Yashoda Mataji, and then Srimati Radharani, the gopis, and the cowherd man, they were missing Krishna so much. They were always thinking of Krishna at every step, right? They were always like how mother is always thinking about his child. So they were always thinking about, here Krishna used to play in this way, Krishna was blowing his flute in this way, Krishna was joking in this way. So they were constantly thinking about Krishna in this way. And this is called as Leela Smarana. The 9 limbs of bhakti. I'm sure many of you would have heard about this 9 limbs of bhakti. So it starts with Shravanam. Shravanam means hearing the holy name. Kirtanam means actually chanting the holy name. And Smarana means remembering the Supreme Lord, right? Bhagwan Sri Krishna. So here, this is called as Leela Smarana. Leela Smarana. Smarana means remembering our Lord, Bhagwan Sri Krishna. So Leela Smarana means remembering the beautiful divine Leelas of Krishna, right? So how Krishna was playing the flute, how Krishna was going and killing all the demonic people, how Krishna was taking care of the cows, and so many beautiful things, how he was blowing his flute and things like that. So the people of Vrindavan, they were spending all the time 24/7, they're only thinking about Krishna, and they were completely, and this is called as Leela Smaran. So it is very important, this one, to understand, because when we are chanting the holy names of Krishna and all this, these Krishna Leelas are so important, because what happens is, when we are chanting the holy name of Krishna, our mind can get distracted. My mind can go in so many different directions. But we should always, while we are chanting the holy names of Krishna, we should focus on the transcendental sound vibration of Krishna. And second thing is, we can think about Krishna's beautiful, leelas that happen in the month of in Vrindavan. So in that way, you can always engage your mind of thinking of Krishna leelas. And Bhagavan Sri Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Janma karma cha me divyam evam yo veti takrutaha chaktodeham punarjanma naiti mameti su Arjuna. Where Krishna is saying, one who is listening to Krishna's Leela, Krishna's divine Leelas, Krishna's birth, or we shouldn't say birth also, we should say appearance and disappearance of Krishna, Krishna's appearance, or Krishna's, Leelas, or spending time with the cowherd. Even if you are listening to this Krishna Leelas, Bhagavan Sri Krishna is telling in Bhagavad Gita that we don't come back. Once we leave this material world, we will not come back, but we will directly go to Krishna Loka himself. So you can imagine how auspicious it is to even smarana, just the Leela smarana, thinking about this thing itself is so auspicious. So it is very important for us. And also, when Krishna came in the form of a devotee as well as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he was in Puri, Jagannath Puri, in Orissa, he was always enjoying thinking about the Leela Smarana association with Krishna. He was because Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who's Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? He's Krishna Bhagwan himself, who came in the form of a devotee. So he came in the form of a devotee to show us how a devotee should be loving Krishna. See how beautiful Krishna is. He comes himself as Krishna in Dwapara Yuga, and then in Kali Yuga, he comes himself as a devotee also, just to show us how to love Krishna, how to think about Krishna all the time. So in this way, Krishna is so kind and kind and loving towards his devotees. From time to time, he's coming in different forms. And that's why they say in Kali Yuga, Kalikale Namarupa Krishna Avatar, which means Krishna is descended in the form of this Nama Avatar. That when we are chanting the holy name of Krishna, it is as good as seeing Krishna in person as well. So this is, we covered till here about some of these things. And also, we're just going to cover one more thing. I just wanted to just take this opportunity. Just to make it more inclusive, can I just request, maybe we can just take turns and just read one after the other, maybe one of the paragraphs, and then later I can summarize. Sanchit Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Sorry, I was out, so I just joined a bit late. Sorry about that.
Oh, okay, no problem at all. I was just wondering, yeah, are you able to see if you're not on a phone or something? Are you able to see?
Yeah, I can read, Prabhu. Is it okay? Yeah, I can read the paragraph.
I was just thinking if you can read the paragraph and then we'll give a chance to others and then we'll just go
Yes,
through.
Prabhu.
it.
Yes,
Yeah,
definitely.
please go ahead.
Thank you, Hare Krishna. In the meantime, Uddhava, a cousin brother of Krishna's, came to see Krishna from Dwarka. He was the son of Vasudev's brother and was almost the same age as Krishna. His bodily features resembled Krishna's almost exactly. After Krishna returned from his teacher's home, he was pleased to see Uddhava, who happened to be his dearmost friend. Krishna wanted to send him to Vrindavan with a message to the residents to pacify their deep feelings of separation. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Darshana ji, Hare Krishna. Are you
Hare
able
Krishna. Yeah, I can.
Yeah, maybe you want to just read this one?
Yeah, sure. As stated in the Bhagavad Gita, Ya yata mama papai jayanti tratam tachma pajama aham.
Yeah.
Sorry. Krishna is very responsive. He responds in proportion to the devotee's attachment in devotional service. Thus, as the gopis were thinking of Krishna in separation 24 hours a day, so Krishna was also always thinking of the gopis. Mother Yashoda, Nanda Maharaj, and the other residents of Vrindavan, although he appeared to be away from them, he could understand how they were transcendently aggrieved, and so he immediately wanted to send Uddhava to give them a message of solace. Hare
Wonderful.
Krishna.
Wonderful. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Amit Prabhu, would you like to just read this one?
Yes, sure. No problem.
Yeah, please. Go ahead. Uddhava, the one which I highlighted.
Sure. Uddhava is described as the most exalted personality in the Vrisni almost equal to Krishna. Prabhasti, the teacher and priest of the heavenly planets, he was very intelligent and sharp in decision. Intellectually, he was highly qualified. Krishna, being his very loving friend, wanted to send Uddhava to Vrindavana just to study the high elevated ecstatic devotional service practiced there. Even if one is highly elevated in material education and is even the discipline of Braspati, he still has to learn from the gopis and the other residents of Ranvana how to love Krishna to the highest degree. It was Krishna's special flavor to Uddhava to send him to Ranvadan with a message for the residents there, which was meant to pacify them.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. That was wonderful. Yes, anyone would like to read the next one?
Haribol Prabhu, can I read Prabhu?
Yes, please. Yes, please, Mata. Yeah, please go ahead.
Lord Krishna is also named Hari, which means one who takes away all distress from the surrendered soul. Lord Chaitanya stated that there cannot at any time be a worship as exalted as that realized by the gopis. Being very anxious about the gopis' grief, Krishna talked with Uddhava and politely requested him to go to Vrindavana. Shaking Uddhava's hand with his own hands, he said, My dear gentle friend Uddhava, please go immediately to Vrindavan and try to pacify my father and mother, Nand Maharaj and Yashoda Devi, and the gopis. They are grief stricken as if suffering from great ailment. Go and give them a message. I hope their ailment will be partially relieved. The gopis are always absorbed in thoughts of me. They have dedicated body, desire, life, and soul to me. I am anxious not only for the gopis but the anyone who sacrifices society, friendship, love, and soul to me. I am anxious not only but for anyone who sacrifices comfort for me. It is my duty to protect such exalted devotees. The gopis are the most dear. They always think of me in such a way that they remain overwhelmed and almost dead in anxiety due to separation from me. They are keeping alive simply by thinking that I'm returning to them very soon. Haribol, thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, wonderful. Thank you. Ashwin Prabhu, can you hear us?
I can hear you, but I'm on the phone at the moment.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
not
okay,
at
no,
government
no problem
project,
at
so I
all.
will
No
not be able
problem
to
at all.
use. Sorry, Hare Krishna
Absolutely.
Prabhu.
Yeah, sure, Prabhu, no problem. I appreciate that, you're trying to manage with that as well. Anil Prabhu, would you want to?
Yep, I can try.
Yeah, sure.
Requested by Lord Krishna, Uddhava immediately left on his chariot and carried the message to Gokula. He approached Vrindavan at sunset when the cows were returning home from the pasturing ground. Uddhava and his chariot were covered by the dust raised by the hooves of the cows. He saw bulls running after cows for mating. Other cows, with overladen milk bags, were running after their calves to feed them with milk. Uddhava saw that the entire land of Vrindavan was filled with white cows and their calves, running here and there all over Gokula, and he couldn't hear the sound of milking. Every residential house in Vrindavan was decorated for the worship of the sun god and the fire god, and for the reception of guest cows, brahmas, and demigods. Every home sanctified by lights and incense. All over Vrindavan there were nice gardens filled with flowers and sounds of humming bees and singing birds. The lakes were filled with lotus flowers and with ducks and swans.
Wonderful. Amok Prabhu?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Uddhava entered the house of Nanda Maharaja and was received as a representative of Vasudeva. Nanda Maharaja offered him a sitting place and sat down with him to ask about messages from Krishna, Balarama, and other family members in Madura. He could understand that Uddhava was a very confidential friend of Krishna's and therefore must have come from with good messages. My dear Uddhava, he said, how is my friend Vasudeva enjoying life? He is now released from the prison of Kamsa and he is now with his friends and his children, Krishna and Balarama. So he must be very happy. Tell me about him and his welfare. We are also very happy that Kamsa, the most sinful demon, has been killed. He was always envious of the family of the Yadus, his relatives. Now, because of his sinful activities, he is dead and gone, along with all his brothers. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. Yeah, so I just wanted to, make sure we just take some turns and just make it more inclusive so that all of us can get to have a taste of this nectar that is happening. So the one of the things, like I said, just to set the context and just to summarize what we were actually discussing about this whole paragraph that we covered so far. Like I said, the people of Vrindavan, they are missing the gopis and Nanda Maharaj, Yashoda Mataji, and all the cowherd people, everybody were missing Krishna so much, Krishna and Balaram so much. They were literally like completely like lost souls. They didn't know what to do, and every second of their life they were thinking. And here, as it is said, mentioned over here, now it is such a nice, beautiful because another Leela is unfolding. Because Krishna Bhagwan, if you see the whole of Krishna book, every chapter they're either a combination of two Leelas or it could be like one Leela, the whole chapter. Now here what's happening is Krishna's father is Vasudeva, his father's brother's son, which means like, cousin brother. All of us have cousin brothers, right? So Uddhava is Krishna's cousin brother who has actually come from Dwaraka. So it was a perfect timing. Again, Krishna makes all the arrangements, isn't it? So Krishna's cousin brother has come all the way from Dwaraka. And it's very interesting to find that he was looking almost like Krishna, like the bodily features and everything in terms of beauty and all that. He was looking so much like Krishna. And they had a very good relation. And so Krishna was like kind of like, welcoming Uddhava, who has come to see him as his one of most dearest friend. Now, what Krishna wanted to do is, because the people of Vrindavan, in his home, in his hometown, like Nanda Maharaj and gopis, they were missing Krishna so much. So he wanted to send his cousin brother, Uddhava, to go to Vrindavan. So for two reasons, why he wants Uddhava to go to Vrindavan is, one is to go and pacify and to go and comfort the gopis and Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda ji, and just tell them that, don't worry, Krishna is going to come. Because before Krishna left Vrindavan to Mathura, he told all of them, like, I'm just going to come, I'm going to Mathura on a purpose, because he wants to go and fight against Kamsa and go and kill Kamsa and come back. So he tells everyone, I'm going to Mathura, I'm going to come back to Vrindavan. So don't worry, I'm going to come back. But so Krishna stayed back in Mathura and all of them came back, right, to home. So now, because they were in so much of grief and because they were missing Krishna so much, so Krishna wanted Uddhava to go and just tell them that don't worry, Krishna is going to come. That's the message he wants to send across. And second thing, the reason why he also wants to Uddhava to send is, Uddhava is actually someone who's supposed to be like very, very advanced, very knowledgeable, very intellectual and all that. But through the Leelas, Bhagavan is trying to give us this message through the Krishna Leela, that no matter how intelligent you could be, no matter how a big jnani that you could be, but more important than jnani is the love for Krishna, which is only the gopis are the highest benchmark of love for Krishna. Because every breath they were taking, they were only thinking about Krishna. So for two reasons, so he wanted even Uddhava to go and see like the highest, more than the jnanis, what is more important is to develop the love for Krishna, and which only the gopis had. And for them to, for Uddhava to see firsthand how much actually the gopis are in love with Krishna, which is the topmost important thing. When it comes to God, logic and all these things don't work. Krishna wants only bhakti. And he tells in Bhagavad Gita, you can only understand Krishna through bhakti. No other means. You can be the highest philosopher, you can be the most intelligent person, but nothing works. Only bhakti and Krishna prema will work. As Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, ye yatamam prapadyante tams tataiva bhajamiham, which what Krishna is saying is, according to the level of surrender, according to how much you are ready to surrender for Krishna, how much you are ready to sacrifice for Krishna, Krishna says, to that extent, even I am also going to be responsive. Tam tataiva bhajamyaham. According to bhajamyaham, bhajati. Bhajati means to serve Krishna. So according to the level of service that we are doing, devotional service that we are doing towards Krishna, Krishna is saying, I will also respond accordingly. And because the gopis were so much in grief, because they were missing Krishna so much, Krishna is also responding and reciprocating to the love that they had for Krishna. And how is he reciprocating? By sending Uddhava and to to Vrindavan, to his hometown Vrindavan, to tell them that not to worry about him, to send a message that very soon he is going to come, and to give them a message of solace. And that is the purpose why he wants Uddhava to go. And like Uddhava, like as I said, he's a very exalted personality, and he's a student of Brihaspati, like the preacher of even the heavenly planet. So you can imagine he's a student or he's a disciple of one of the guru, a very powerful guru at that time. And Vrindavan is, and Uddhava was someone who's very intelligent and sharp. And I just wanted to show you later also, I will show you this actually, you can see this Gita. So this is just like Bhagavad Gita, which was spoken on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Similarly, Krishna, before he disappears from the planet, right? And just before Krishna leaves the planet, he speaks Uddhava Gita, where he is giving his final instructions and messages to his dearest friend Uddhava. So that's called as Uddhava Gita, right? Just like Bhagavad Gita, you also have Uddhava Gita. And that is where, again, same like Bhagavad Gita, Uddhava has a lot of questions and Krishna is answering all the questions, right? So we have to understand, like, all these Leela, they're all part of, these wonderful Krishna Leelas. And so here he's trying to understand that even if one is highly elevated in material education, right? You could be a big scholar in Sanskrit. You could be a great scholar in Sanskrit. You could be reading Bhagavad Gita from front to the last page. But still, what is more important is just more than the knowledge. What is important is having the deep love for Krishna, and which only was shown by the gopis as to the highest degree, because they had love for Krishna was to the highest degree. So it was Krishna's favor to Uddhava also to send him to Vrindavan with a message to the residents which was meant to pacify them. So he's doing two things also. Like he's also sending Uddhava to pacify them, at the same time for Uddhava to understand that more important than the knowledge is having love for Krishna. And one of the name of Hari, because we are all Krishna, because we are always trying to love Krishna and trying to be knowledgeable about this Krishna Leelas, we have to understand Hari means someone who's always taking away the distress from the surrendered soul, right? He's always there to take away the distress from the surrendered soul. And that is the reason why, if you can see in Hare Krishna movement, we all say Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Like, Hari means like someone who takes away the distress from the surrendered souls. So here Krishna is just asking Uddhava, can you please go to Vrindavan? He's saying, my dear friend, please go to them. They're become so grief-stricken and they're missing me so much and they dedicated all their life. Please, can you just go ahead and just tell them? And he's telling, just look at the situation of the gopis. They're keeping themselves alive by simply thinking that I'm going to return to them very soon. So the only reason why the gopis are just living is only because they're just waiting in anxiety to see when is it that we can go and see Krishna. So here, what Uddhava is doing is, Uddhava, after Krishna is requesting, because someone like Krishna is requesting, obviously Uddhava can't say no, right? Because he's a very dear friend to Krishna. So now Uddhava is taking his chariot and he goes to Gokula, to Vrindavan. And then once he approaches, so at the time when he's reaching Vrindavan, it's almost like sunset time. And that's the time when normally Krishna used to always take the cows in the morning, and in the evening they come back after going to the pasturing grounds and all that. So in the evening, the cows are all back. And because of the cows, like there's so much of dust that it kicks off, right? So you can see that Uddhava and his chariot, they were all covered by this dust. And you can see like the whole of Vrindavan, there are like so many cows. Krishna had about 800,000 cows. If I'm mistaken, I mean, it is in huge number. I don't know whether it's 800,000 or 900,000, Amaga Prabhu, and Sanchit Mataji. You can cover
900,000, Prabhu, I heard.
900,000 cows, right? So you can imagine in those days, your wealth was measured by the number of cows that you have. So you can imagine Krishna and Balaram, Nanda Maharaj, they had about 900,000 cows. So you can imagine, and Krishna would call them by their name and they would come running. So you can imagine the kind of loving relation that Krishna used to have with the cows. And you can see over there at that time where the cows, they're just, the whole place was filled with cows and the calves. They're running all over the place. And how the calves were just feeding on the cows and things like that. And in the every residential home, there was a worship of the sun god and fire god and things like that. So it's a beautiful sight, because the way Prabhupada has described these things, like how the worship was going on and how every home was sanctified by lights and incense. So all this brings us our mind to that imagination, how beautiful it must have been during the time of Vrindavan, with lamps lit everywhere and all the gardens with full of flowers and humming bees and singing birds. So even the lakes were full of lotus flowers and all this time. So it's like, can you bring to mind, right, how beautiful it must have been, the place of Vrindavan. So now, finally, Uddhava has come. So Krishna has sent him from Mathura to Vrindavan. So Uddhava has finally come to Vrindavan. Now he is entering into the house of Nanda Maharaj. And so Nanda Maharaj is very happy. He knows that Uddhava is a very confidential friend of Krishna. So he starts inquiring from Uddhava, because he knows that Uddhava has come from Mathura, no? Right? Because after seeing Krishna, so he knows that Uddhava is a very confidential friend. So Nanda Maharaj, who's the father of Krishna, is now asking Uddhava, like, my dear Uddhava, how is my friend Vasudeva? Who's Vasudeva? Vasudeva is the main father of Krishna, like, right? Vasudeva and Devaki, right? They are the parents of Krishna, and both of them were imprisoned. They were put in a prison by Kamsa, who is a very evil and demoniac person. So now Nanda Maharaj is asking Uddhava, how is my friend Vasudeva? Because Vasudeva and Nanda Maharaj, both of them are friends. And Nanda Maharaj is glad, because now Vasudeva has been released from the prison and Kamsa has been killed. And Vasudeva and Devaki are now where they come out from the prison now with their friends and enjoying with their friends and children. And also now they got a chance to take care of Krishna and Balaram, get them educated, send them to the Gurukul, get them initiated with the fire sacrifice and things like that. So he's saying, like, he must be very happy. Vasudeva must have been very happy. And then he's saying, like, he's also happy because Kamsa has been killed. Like I said, Kamsa was a very evil person, and he's been finally killed by Krishna. So now Uddhava is kind of like still asking, and it's so beautiful, isn't it? Because quote unquote, we literally know what are the questions that Nanda Maharaj is asking Uddhava as well. So Nanda Maharaj is asking Uddhava, please let us know whether Krishna now remembers his father and mother and his friends and companions in Vrindavan. Does he like to remember his cows, his gopis, his Govardhan hill, his pasturing grounds in Vrindavan? Or has he now forgotten all these? And is there any possibility of his coming back to his friends and relatives so we can again see his beautiful face with his raised nose and lotus-like eyes? We remember how he saved us from the forest fire, how he saved us from the great snake Kalia in the Yamuna, and how he saved us from so many demons. And we simply think of how much we are obliged to Krishna for giving us protection in so many dangerous situations. My dear Uddhava, when we think of Krishna's beautiful face and eyes and his different activities here in Vrindavan, we become so overwhelmed that all our activities cease. We simply think of Krishna, how we used to smile, how we used to look upon with the grace. When we go to the banks of Yamuna and the lakes of Vrindavan, or near the Govardhan hill, or the pasturing fields, we see the impressions of Krishna's footprints are still on the surface of the earth. We remember him playing in these places because he was constantly visiting them. When his appearance within our minds become manifest, we immediately become absorbed in thought of him. So you see, this paragraph is so important for us to understand. Like how will we develop love for Krishna? How will we develop love for Krishna? Only when we have that experience, when we are listening or when we are reading this experience of how nicely Nanda Maharaj is narrating all these things, like how much, and he's asking Uddhava, because like Krishna is in Mathura, right? So he's asking, has Krishna forgotten about his father? Does he still remember his parents out here? Does he remember the gopis? Does he remember the Govardhan hill? Because Krishna and Balaram, they used to take the cows to the Govardhan hill, right? For pasturing over the cows. So he's asking, so Nanda Maharaj is asking about Krishna, like, has Krishna forgotten all these things? And does he even remember any of these things? Is there any possibility that Krishna is going to come back? Because Krishna was looking so beautiful, so beautiful. 1,000 Cupids also could never even compare to the beauty of Krishna. So Krishna was so beautiful that they were always constantly thinking of Krishna. And for us, it is very important for us to understand two things. One is we have to remember these great, wonderful Krishna Leelas of how we went and killed this, like how we saved the people of Vrindavan from the Kalia snake in Yamuna, how he saved from the various demons and all. So there were so many beautiful divine Leelas we covered in the earlier chapter. But so Nanda Maharaj is remembering all those divine leelas that Krishna has done in this Vrindavan. And so he's saying, like, because they have seen Krishna always smiling, and because even though there's so many things like demonic people always trying to go and kill Krishna, but Krishna was always smiling. And he was just going and doing what he has to do, going and killing all these demonic things. But he was always smiling with the people of Vrindavan. So people of Vrindavan, they were always thinking about the smiling face of Krishna. And they were also even thinking about the footprints. Oh, this is where Krishna has walked. In fact, if you go to Vrindavan and if you take a nice guide, even now they will show you, like, this is the place where Krishna and Balaram used to play. This is the place where Krishna used to play with Radharani. So even now also, if you go to Vrindavan, they'll be showing you the places and saying, like, okay, this is where Krishna, all these leelas of Krishna has happened. So this is what Nanda Maharaj is trying to understand. For us, it is very important to understand, because this is how we'll be able to develop love for Krishna. When we'll think about the Leelas of Krishna, when we think how Krishna has gone and saved the people of Vrindavan. And when his appearance within our minds become manifest, we immediately get absorbed in thought of him. So how can we always get our mind absorbed in thinking of Krishna? By thinking about the Leelas of Krishna, how beautiful the Leelas of Krishna would have been in those days and things like that. So this is what I just want to pause over here. Nish Mataji, you have a question? You have a
This is Ashish Nishi's husband. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Yes, please.
Yeah, so I just had a question, and is it okay to ask the question? And sorry, I'm sorry to.
Yeah. Okay, we covered. So 9 o'clock. So yeah.
Okay, yeah. So the paragraph that you were reading around, and sorry, I'll keep on having a lot of questions every session. So please forgive me in advance, and to everybody. The paragraph that you just read, it talks about loving Krishna, but a lot of places you have also mentioned, and everybody mentions that Krishna says, "Do my bhakti." Bhakti, again, in my opinion, and sorry if I offend somebody, uh, bhakti and love are two very different things. Should we love Krishna or do bhakti? Because when we talk about bhakti, it's always we should do bhakti because then we will get to Vaikuntha Dham or Krishna. That becomes a very selfish thing, right? It's like love is pure. What gopis did was a pure love with Krishna.
Yes.
They didn't do bhakti of Krishna, they did pure love. But uh, on the contrary, a lot of places, then in Bhagavad Gita only, Krishna says, "Do my bhakti," which I think, and the way people do bhakti is for that reason only. Okay, we want to attain nirvana, we want to get rid of this, and that becomes a selfish motive in the being, right? Like what Nand Baba or Gopis or Yashodama or Radha had was like pure love for Krishna, not bhakti in the sense. So I just want to know, like, what does, you guys are more learned than me, what is mentioned in Bhagavad Gita around this?
No, Prabhu, I mean, we are all sharing with each other. And, about bhakti and love, and you basically what you're saying is there's an element of selfishness also when we think about, like, when we are praying to Krishna and we are engaging bhakti life for a reason that we want to go to nirvana or get nirvana or mukti and things like that, isn't it? So you're saying that there is an element of selfishness as well. I mean, basically the point is like, you know, the people of Vrindavan, because we are talking about Krishna Leela, so just to explain to that, the people of Vrindavan never looked about Krishna as like, as something like a god or anything like that. For them, even though Krishna has done amazing Leelas, they were so proud that Krishna was going and killing the demonic people, going and protecting them. But they always consider them, their only intention of, they were always looking at Krishna with a lot of love, that he is one among us. And they never looked at Krishna as a god, but they always had so much of deep love for Krishna. And including the gopis also, they were not bothered about whether we're going to get mukti. They were not bothered whether we're going to spiritual planets or anything like that. All they wanted in the mind is that the pure bhakti, right? Only without any motive kind of thing. Now, we have a benchmark. So Krishna is here trying to show us, like, because even in Bhagavad Gita also, even though he explains about karma yoga, he explains about jnana yoga, he explains about Sankhya yoga, out of all these yogas, finally he says the best yoga is bhakti yoga, right? Where you're always in love with Krishna. Now, different people, again, Krishna says they're all four kind of a variety of, four kind of a devotees who come to Krishna. One is one who's always in distress or in problems and he wants some solution. Another devotee comes who's always, wanting some wealth and opulence and all that. Third devotee is someone who's very inquisitive. And fourth devotee is coming to Krishna for the love of Krishna. So Krishna knows that when people were approaching to Krishna, they're all coming in a different level of consciousness or a different in the mood of bhakti. So even though we may have different things, like in fact, people talk about mukti, people talk about, yeah, we want to go to the spiritual planets and all that. But what Krishna is offering is, because we have to understand the love that Krishna has for us, right? Mamai Vamsa Jiva Loke, Jiva Bhuta Sanatana, Mana Shastrin Indriyani, Prakriti Sani Karshati. So even though we are saying like we want to worship Krishna because we want to go to a higher planets or whether we want mukti and all that, in fact, Krishna has a even more love for us to the extent that he's explaining the whole of Bhagavad Gita and he's telling us all about bhakti life, a devotional life, so that we can engage ourselves in bhakti life and have developed so much of love for Krishna. And because Krishna's main objective, why he even comes as in the form of a Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, is so that take us back to him, to the Krishna Loka himself. Forget about Mukti. Krishna is having even a higher plan where he wants all of us to come back to Krishna Loka itself, which is the most supreme planet. Because up to the level of Brahma Loka, there's repeated life, birth, and death, right? Up to the Brahmaloka. Even you go up to the top of Brahmaloka, again, there's a life and death. Again, you come back and fall. And once your merits are done, you again fall back into this thing. But once we go to Krishna Loka, we'll be in the association of Krishna, like a four-armed Narayana form. So even though we may have, and even in Bhakti life, it's not like, one fine day we'll become like gopis and all. So the gopis are the highest level of Bhakti, where we all be working in the footsteps of or being inspired by the gopis, that this is what we should aim for. Because all of us in the beginning, we will approach Krishna with some kind of selfish desire. So we have a yoga ladder. where we are just trying to, we in the initial stages, we are having so many selfish desires, and slowly as we engage in that, we get a taste of Krishna. So that's why, which is very important, like worship is to adore or honor and things like that. But here in Krishna Bhakti, we talk about devotional service. The Bhakti is taught to be devotional service, because only when we engage in devotional service, we will be able to understand this Krishna Prema. And once we have this Krishna Prema, even though Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, when we think of Krishna towards the end of our life, that is where we will go. If we think about Krishna, we will go to Krishna Loka. So to your point, even though we may have a selfish think that, we are loving out of selfishness on that, Krishna being our eternal father, he understands all these things. And he has even more higher plan than us, that he wants us to directly come to Krishna Loka itself. Yeah, Prabhu? So
Yeah.
we can't,
I
we
have
are on the path of bhakti.
I have several follow-up questions, but I can take up them next time.
Yeah, definitely. See,
Take up the session.
See, bhakti life is full of questions, and it's very important in spiritual life that we should have questions. In fact, the whole of Bhagavad Gita is full of question and answers, right? But it is nice that you're having questions. In fact, all of us, that's what I want. I want us to cover Krishna Leela, and I also want us to have an understanding and also contemplate about it. And that's how we should relish Krishna Katha, right? We should have a questions, and we have so many beautiful devotees over here also who can give us, share the realization and their understanding, so that we'll all be able to enjoy the Krishna Bhakti, right? Because we are not, most important thing we have to understand between Sanatan Dharma and all the other religions. They are a religion of beliefs. We are a religion of realization. Sanatan Dharma means realization. Realize you're not this body. Realize that the highest thing is Krishna Bhakti. Like that, there's so many beautiful realizations. And as we keep joining these Krishna sessions, we will cover all those questions and we will engage ourselves so that we can make it more interactive, and so that we can all contribute and try to grow in Krishna Bhakti, right? So once our questions are answered, then we will be able to relish Krishna Bhakti more and more. So I will just stop this, and with everybody's permission, because just respecting everybody's time, I'm just going to stop here, and then we will cover the remaining part of, the Krishna Leela, because I just wanted to make sure that, I'm just doing a recap for devotees who are joining for the first time. And as we keep going and as everybody becomes regular, then we can, we can just go at a more higher pace. Then I don't need to recap so much, but just for the benefit of people, I just thought, we should recap and then just move forward into the next one. So it's all beautiful. All these leelas are so important in our Krishna Bhakti life, because this is how we will be able to only when we are in the association of devotees, only when we are in satsang, we will be able to relish the nectar of this Krishna Katha. So that's the reason why it is so important for us to join together, read together, and contemplate on this together, and try to understand the deeper significance, why Krishna wants Uddhava to go to the gopis, and why he wants him to learn from gopis about what Krishna Bhakti is all about. And that's how, through that and through these leelas, we will also get to know. And we will try to do that in the coming next Thursday as well. So I just want to stop over here, and then next week we will just cover the remaining part of this chapter, right? And with everybody's permission, Amaga Prabhu, I just wanted to offer, like, is there anyone who can do Narsimha prayer? We'll do a prayer to Narsimha for the protection of all of us, all the devotees. And I'll just put lyrics so that everybody can get to know what, this is a beautiful prayer for Narsimha Bhagavan. And I just wanted to say, which is, please, not in this one. KK songs is, yeah, Desiratory, maybe this one. Somewhere in the middle. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, anyone who can just volunteer for Narsimha prayer, anyone who's our regular devotees, or Sanchit Mataji, or
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Hemlata Mataji, she can do it and I can respond, so that for the new devotees, they can learn how we do it. So we can, if with your permission, we can do it that way. And if Hemlata Mataji is available too.
Haribol,
She's
yes,
got a
Mataji.
beautiful
Okay,
voice.
yeah, I'll do it.
Yeah,
Okay,
sure.
yeah. I can.
Please
Thank
go
you,
ahead.
Mataji.
Yeah. So everyone will get to know about Narsimha prayer.
Namaste Narasimhaya Prahlad
Namaste Narasimhaya प्रह्लादलाददायिने
हिरण्याकाशीपूर्वक्षः शिलाटङ्कानखालाये
हिरण्यकाशीपूर्वक्षः शिलाटङ्कानखालाये
इतो नरसिंहो परितो नरसिंहो यतो यतो यामि ततो नरसिंह इतो नरसिंह परितो नरसिंहो
Sorry, I was
यतो
unmuted.
यतो यामि ततो नरसिंहो बाहिर
Sorry, Mataji, I was mute, so I didn't realize I was still singing. Sorry, I can repeat.
बाहिर नरसिंहो हृदये नरसिंहो नरसिंहमदिं शरणं प्रपदे
बाहिर्नृसिंहो हृदये नृसिंहो नृसिंहमदिं शरणं प्रपदे
तव करकमलवरे नखाम् अद्भुतशृङ्गा दलिता हिरण्यकश्यपो तनुभृङ्गाम् केशवधृता नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे
तव करकमलवरे नखाम् अद्भुतशृङ्गा दलित हिरण्यकशिपु तनुभृङ्गाम् केशवधृता नरहरिरूप जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे
जय नरसिंह देव जय नरसिंह देव नरसिंह देव जय नरसिंह देव
जय नृसिंहदेव जय नृसिंहदेव जय नृसिंहदेव जय नृसिंहदेव
जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज
जय प्रहलाद महाराज प्रहलाद महाराज प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज
जय जय गुरुदेव 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 जय जय गुरुदेव
जय जय गुरुदेव 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 जय जय गुरुदेव
श्रीला प्रभुपाद की जय श्री नरसिंहदेव भगवान की जय
Jai.
Right. So this is a beautiful prayer. Usually we end. Yeah, so we always end with this beautiful prayer for Narasimha Dev and for giving us protection. And it's very, it's very nice prayer, and it is sung in our temple as well. As you can see, most of the time after the Aarti, we sing this Narasimha prayer. So it's very nice one. I'll just post it on the channel as well. So it is nice for other devotees also to just, try to learn this prayer. It is so beautiful. And it talks about offering obeisance to Lord Narasimha, who gives joy to Prahlad Maharaj. And it's so important. These prayers will give us protection to the devotees, right? We are living in a material world. We all need protection, because this is a Kali Yuga is the world of anxiety. It's a world of quarrels and things like that. So it is important for us to have the protection wherever we go of Narasimha Dev. So I just wanted this to come. So this is how the pattern is going to be. Like, so in the beginning, we'll have prayers as Amoga Prabhu has sung. and we'll have the Krishna Katha and then followed by the Narasimha prayer. So we just wanted to make it more inclusive so that all of us will get to know some of these things, like in the beginning, how to invoke our prayers to the Guru, and then how to invoke our prayers to the Narasimha Dev, and then have the Krishna Katha. So in this way, we'll develop love for Krishna. We will have the blessings of Gurus, and at that, the blessings of Narasimha Dev as well. So I just want to thank everyone who has joined today. Really appreciate that. And as I said, as we keep joining every week, then we'll be able to understand, and we'll have a lot of interactive discussions so that all of us can enlighten each other and share with each other. And that's how we grow as nice devotee community. So we will take more part in this, and I just will make it more interactive, and we will have realizations. Sometimes it could be realization, sometimes it could be questions and things like that. So we will, as we progress, we will cover much more in detail. Yeah. So Amit Prabhu, hope you enjoyed the session.
Thank you very much, Shyam Prabhu.
Yeah, look forward to seeing you on Saturday. And
Yes.
Hare Krishna to all the devotees. Have a Krishna conscious evening. Until next
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna
Also, can I
Prabhu.
request?
Yeah, Amog Prabhu, yeah, maybe can I just quickly add and then we can do the Haribol?
Yes.
Yeah, so just to the new devotees that, if by now you must know who is Srila Prabhupada. So Srila Prabhupada had this desire to build the world's largest temple for the Vaishnavas. So it's called the Temple of Vedic Planetarium, which is being built in Mayapur. And tomorrow, because we sang the Narasimha prayer, so and you saw the picture of Lord Nrsimhadev. So tomorrow it's going to be really very, very big day. And this making this temple construction of this temple had started almost more than 50 years ago. And it's such an expensive one that we didn't have funds to just get it done. So it's still in the making. The first deity who is going to be installed there is tomorrow of Lord Nrsimhadev. And tomorrow is a very auspicious day in Mayapur. So it will be shown in Mayapur TV. If anyone want to see, you can see it. And it's just wanted to mention this as a fact. So just we know. Yeah. So it's going to be
What time is it?
I think in our group there is we have this PDF document shared by Himlata Mataji. So Mataji, Himlata Mataji, if you share, maybe forward it to Shyam Prabhu and he can forward it to their group so that they also know the timings. Maybe it started from 8 or 10. I'm not sure of the exact timing because it started today with Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur's Vyas Puja appearance, 150th appearance day. So today was a big day as well for the Vaishnavas. And tomorrow is the installation, and day after there's a few days festival. So exactly the time of the installation is not on the top of my mind, but I think Shyam Prabhu can forward that.
I will forward that. I'll put it on the channel so everybody can get to see about this. And this temple of Vedic Planetarium that Mataji is just now mentioning, it's going to be one of a kind in the world. And this project is headed by Ambarish Prabhu, who's none other than Alfred Ford. Imagine. Is that right, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhu Alfred Ford. Yeah, he was the owner of the city of Alfred Ford and son of Henry Ford. Yeah.
It is amazing because Alfred Ford is actually a devotee of Krishna, and he was a disciple of Prabhupada, and he's taken up this project on himself. He's actually managing this project. Imagine the Ford, family. So they are taking care of this project, and it's immense. It's a huge one. It's going to be the greatest.
Beautiful. And the entire interior decoration, it took all these 50 years, and in the entire interior, every intricate design has been taken care of by Swaha Mataji, who is Ambarish Prabhu's wife. So Swaha Mataji has done all the interior from all around the world. She's got material, of course, consigned, but she has taken care of it. So it's beautiful. We have been there last, I think, way before last. It was still in the making, but it was so beautiful still. And there are a few videos also on YouTube, showing Prabhupada had this desire to show the Bhagavatam, the creation story through this temple. So there's lots of exhibitions and displays will be there, how the world was created. So it's something out of the world. It's something people have not imagined. And also another interesting fact, sorry, I'm taking a bit of time. So this was forecasted, I think 400 years back when Nityananda Prabhu was there, that a temple will be built, such a temple, that Adbhut temple, that it will be one of its kind in the world. So it's in the making.
So this is the Vedic planetarium that Mataji is just now talking about. And this is the one which is coming up. And first deity, as Mataji was saying, like Narasimha Dev is going to be in this. So you can imagine this is going to be a planetarium where you can see the whole of Bhagavatam, the planetary moments and everything. Like we'll be able to see whatever is mentioned in Bhagavatam, you'll be able to see in this planetarium. So it's going to be an immense one and a great, wonderful achievement, which is headed by on this project actually in Mayapur. So yeah, thank you, Sanchit Mataji, like for bringing this up. It's very important actually that such kind of a things should be shared with our devotees so they can understand and relish this beautiful thing. So let's
Hare
hope.
Yeah, Hari
Krishna, can
Bol.
I say one more thing?
Yeah, Ashwin Prabhu. Yeah.
This is Ashwin. Yeah.
Yes. Prabhu.
I wanted to request. I have been learning guitar for the last 2 or 3 years, and one of my main intentions was to play guitar in Watford Temple. So I've been learning to say Hare Krishna on the guitar, and I wanted to play it in front of an audience. Never played in front of an audience, but was looking for an opportunity to do that. Today I know it's late, but in future, even if 30 seconds you can spare.
Oh yeah. Oh, you want to sing that? Oh yeah, definitely. We can do it next week, Prabhu. Yeah, next Thursday. Yeah, anything for the love of Krishna, which when you do it for love of Krishna, when you say Hare Krishna on the guitar also is fine. And I'll tell you later because on Krishna Janmashtami Day, we have a beautiful band and everybody's, on guitar and everything, they do Hare Krishna as well. So as you keep progressing, maybe one day you may join them as well. Yeah, I'll let you know.
Yeah, thank you.
But yeah, there's so many opportunities like that. And I'll tell you more later as we keep going in our satsang. I'll tell you. November end, we have the Beatles also playing Hare Krishna, So yeah, thank you very much. I really appreciate each one of you, like for giving your time on this evening. And it's so nice that all of you are just taking part in this. And this is our sincere endeavor to share about Krishna Bhakti with everyone. And I hope everybody can contribute and learn from each other. And this is how our Sanatan Dharma will grow up. Yeah. We show our love for Krishna. So we'll just finally say Vanchikalpataribhyasa Kripa Sindhubhyavacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo
वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः अनंत कोटि वैष्णव भक्तवृंद की जय श्री प्रभुपाद की जय
Hare Krishna.
Can I
everyone.
request all the devotees
Hare
to say
Krishna.
3 loud Hari Bols to Shyam Prabhuji for kindly taking us through the Krishna Katha? Kindly unmute and
Bol.
Hari Bol.
Hari
Bol.
Hari Bol.
Hari Bol.
Bol.
Hari Bol.
Hari Bol.
Hare
Thank you very
Bol.
much.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
See you next Thursday. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.